Yeah, this is Theology in the Streets, extended thought. And we're going to carry on from our discussion in the last episode here.
Big up, big up, big up.
So Dawn, you had something you had brought up. What was that again? Bring it back.
I said, how does the tax crew feel about them dethroning these statues in different places? How you guys feel about that?
I feel good about it, man. I feel good Christians taking idolatry out of the church, acknowledging that it's idolatry. It's an old tradition set by Roman Catholicism.
No, but I'm talking about the statues that were like the Confederate statues that they had up in different cities.
I thought you were talking about white Jesus. Definitely.
I don't know where you went with that one.
Definitely.
That's to show you how hot it is in here.
Robert E. Lee should not be memorialized, or any person who fought for the Confederate Army to save slavery. I mean, come on, bro. That's a no-brainer.
So why was it up in the first place?
That's weird, bro.
Oh, yo, check it out. I know the answer to that.
Okay.
The reason they put all these statues up was during the civil rights movement in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. They put it up to discourage
Get out of here.
the black movement. Yes.
Wow.
Look it up. Look it up.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes.
Trash.
Wow.
So yeah, they
That's
deserve to be
worse.
down.
Yeah.
Well,
They're cheap statues. They were made quickly and they're
that's not what they're saying. They're saying take 20. Some of them statues, they're saying it's taking thousands and thousands of dollars to dethrone these statues, and they're saying that that's the reason why they can't move on it so quickly.
There's a couple that were long. You know, they
I'm
were
saying when they were made, they were
Yeah.
made cheaply.
But it's sitting there for 120
yeah,
years.
not every statue.
So how
was-
cheap is that?
Yeah. No.
Well, if you made something that's 120
Well,
years.
no. Some of these statues go back to the slavery days.
Yeah.
So you know. But,
Now some of them are just Confederate soldiers.
Yes.
They're not, like general. All of them are generals and stuff like that. What do you guys think about that?
Listen, my thought is this, man. In light of all of this, pro-Americanism that we have going on in this country,
nationalism.
it would seem like, why would you have a problem taking down a symbol that went against your very nation, man?
Yes.
They tried to destroy it.
Yeah.
Well, no, but this is the thing.
Oh, bro.
They had drafts on both sides. So people
About the Civil War?
in the Civil War, they had drafts on both sides. So necessarily not everyone believed in that movement that fought on the South. They was just victims of the draft also.
Right, because they lived in the South.
They lived in the South.
Yeah.
But if you don't believe in something, you take a stance. Like my man Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad
Right?
Ali.
But everybody didn't have the credentials that Muhammad Ali had.
Come on,
Well,
man.
we're talking about in the
But
1800s,
you can
a
have the
different
heart,
time
though.
too.
Yeah.
Also, if you were a black man down in the South, that means you were still a slave. And you were owned by a white man, and you were ordered to fight for the Confederacy. I'm pretty sure if you didn't fight for the Confederacy, you'd probably be killed.
Yeah.
Or,
And I'm pretty sure there was
maybe
some
even
who
white
said,
people.
you're going to have to kill me then.
And maybe even white people would probably get killed that
Yeah.
didn't want to fight for the country.
probably,
yeah.
yeah. Probably,
But
yeah.
my problem is this: the country, the federal, whatever they won, the Union won, right?
The Union, yeah.
The Union won
against the Confederacy.
against the Confederacy. So regardless of draft, who fought where, the Union won and then established these United States of America.
Right.
Why would you then want to promote your opponent?
Right.
Like they tried to take you out,
I
bro.
know.
Yeah,
And,
right.
and you let them champion it around
Yeah, come on, man.
the
That's-
states.
The excuse they're using, I heard what you're saying, Kurt. The Confederacy ran a mutiny against the nation. They tried to separate it, and they lost. So some black people on the side of this too. Black people from down south who be like, yo, my great-great-grandfather fought in the Confederacy. And it ain't got nothing to do with that. It's got to do with history and tradition. And you're trying to erase history. But I'm telling these people, you're not erasing history.
Right, it's a
still gonna
statue,
be,
bro.
It's still going to be in the history books. When you go to school and learn
Yeah.
U.S. history,
Yeah,
you're still
come
going to
on,
have
man.
these names, Robert E. Lee and the Confederacy and the down south army. We just not memorializing these people.
Thank you.
We're
Well,
not making heroes and icons of these people who fought for such an atrocity.
Let me throw this at y'all. What do you think about Auschwitz then?
Oh, Auschwitz, that was the concentration camp in the World War II
Yeah.
by the Nazis.
It's a museum now, right? But it's still there.
Yes, but that was propagated by surviving Jews,
Okay.
so that the world will never forget
Okay.
what happened
Right.
and transpired.
Right. This is not.
It's not memorialized
Yes.
like hero. No,
No, I understand.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
for
and
remembrance.
and like some of these statues are in the center of a national park in
Right.
their in that
city
state,
hall or at the
no.
state capitol building.
exactly.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
No, they be tearing down. They need to tear everything down. that
Absolutely.
represents them.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I think it would be different if there was an ongoing message from the community at large that the only reason why these statues are up is as a reminder of what we never want to happen again.
right.
You know what I'm saying? If that was if that
Similar
was
to
the
what-
case,
yeah,
I don't
Auschwitz,
think
yeah.
I don't think people would have too much of an issue. But because that's not the
That's
case,
never been the case.
It's never been the
Yeah.
case. It's never been the case, especially to black people.
Yeah.
Which, and I don't understand any black person in this country who is for those statues remaining.
Right.
Yeah, I don't.
Bro,
I don't see any.
that's mind-boggling to me, bro.
But see, now we have the beheading of
The Frederick Douglass.
Frederick
Yeah, yeah.
Douglass.
Right.
Now it's going to go back and forth.
Right now it's retaliation.
Now it's
You got both
retaliate.
sides.
And listen,
Yeah,
you found the head on the Underground Railroad Trail.
Yeah.
That's where they put the head.
Right.
So that was all intentional.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know it
Oh,
was.
wow.
You know it
the
was.
connotations on
Yes,
Underground
yeah.
Railroad, Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman,
yeah.
you know, Rochester, New York is historic. Well,
Big
Yes.
on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
and we have it here, so that's where they dumped the head at.
So, but that's how much of this is straight up the tensions of today, right? You know, obviously most of it is, but the racial tensions of today, where people are they're just angry for what's going on.
That's exactly
The
what's happening.
anger of the spirit of people today is just angry. And listen, I would even like not just on from a racial standpoint. Let's just think about driving standpoint. Like you got people that got mad road rage. You got people that just they angry on the streets and you can't be in line. You can't cut people. I mean, it's just the mindset of people are just angry today. And what do you guys think about that? I mean, this which exacerbates what we're dealing with even now with the whole racial issues. So this is what's funny when I hear from white people sometimes, right? I'm not racist, but they're doing racist things.
Yeah.
But is it because they're angry at what's going on and they don't agree with it?
Well, and let's be fair. Let's be fair. You'll hear that from a black person too. I'm not racist, but they do racist things too.
Yes.
Okay, so let me throw this out.
let's be
You
fair
say that
across the
right there,
board.
right? So right now, because of critical race theory, they say that black people cannot be racist because racism equals, and I'm gonna kill this right now, but it equals if you have power, you have authority, you have an overarching
System.
right? The system. That's what makes you racist.
Right, so-
I don't agree with that.
Nah, that's,
mean,
what-
mean,
that's a whack statement,
They
bro.
they could be prejudiced or bigots, but they can't.
They can't be racist,
There
yeah.
are racist structures that black people dominate in,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
they can utilize that system to be racist.
But that's my point. So,
And that
so
system can be within a system.
oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's nonsense right
yeah,
there.
it is.
You know what I
it
mean?
is. But that's what's being pushed today.
That is CRT, critical race
you,
theory.
You will have many people that will say, and I will say many black people that will say on
yeah.
social media, I'm not racist.
That's no.
because I can't be racist. They say I
That's the thing.
can't be racist based on this new redefining of it.
No.
Right.
And the thing is, this is Don Dada's theory, okay? And you got to listen to. If you want to listen to any theory, you listen to Don Dada's
called
theory.
DDT, Don
Okay,
Dada
this is
theory.
the real theories. As a matter of fact, it's not even theory. Borderline fact. Now listen.
All right, Twitter fingers.
Yeah, borderline fact. We're gonna go with this one. Wherever you have a majority and there's a minority, you're gonna face some type of racism,
or racial favoritism.
or
Absolutely.
favoritism, or prejudice.
Yep.
Come on now, let's
All
stop
of the
that.
above. All of the above.
Let's stop that.
Yeah,
Let's
we
stop
saw
that.
it in scripture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
exactly.
You got the Hebrews and the Samaritans.
Or you
know
seen
what
the
I'm saying?
Egyptians against the Hebrews.
Yeah.
They enslaved the Hebrews.
The Egyptians against the what were they? Not the Ethiopians, but it was another. The Kemetic group.
Coptic,
No. They were Africans. They were
Kemet, yeah,
Kemet.
K-E.
Yeah,
Yes.
something like that. I
Yeah,
forget what-
Kemet, yes.
K-E,
yeah.
M-I-T. Yeah.
They were
Oh, you seen
always.
it?
They was
M-E-T.
always beefing,
Seen
bro.
it through history. Yes.
Always beefing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, it's
But that's the human, that's the sin nature. In people.
Yeah.
That's the sin nature.
So I guess white people see that as a form of racism. There's some
that?
white people that be like, "Yo, they taking all our white statues away, bro." You know what I'm saying? That's racism. We feel offended.
No, it's still whack though. You
It's
can't.
still
you can't
racism.
represent-
No, I'm not justifying.
No,
it.
yeah,
But
they feel that they have their right. Yeah, they
Yeah.
feel that they have their right to be supreme in their race.
you know what's
No,
an
but there's some
argument-
extremes
An
on
argument I heard from one of my white friends at work. He said, no, it's not that I idolize these statues that they're taking down. It's just, where does it stop? And is it fixing the problem? Is it going to help black people?
on, bro.
And yeah, this is a real country white dude. Real country, he don't understand it. He ain't understand it, and I ain't want to explain it to him. It's just like, yo, if you was black, those statues would offend you, bro.
Yeah.
They would offend me.
Exactly.
Like hardcore. Like, yo, this dude fought for slavery. Take it down. I don't want to see it. You know what I'm saying?
And then that's the scapegoat.
Yes.
That's so the scapegoat. That you know, what is it really gonna do? Just like when I said, let's start to be more vocal on the tradition or the roots of where Jesus came from, and paint the real biblical picture of who he was. And then you got people saying, well, what is that going to do?
Yeah.
Well, listen, it's going to do something.
Yeah.
It's going to do something.
It's a start.
It's a start.
It's a start, bro.
So let's not overlook that.
Yeah.
Let's not just zoom by that.
Yeah, it's a
You know
sign
what I
of
mean?
progress.
We know what you depicting Christ as a white man has done.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
Let's not act like that hasn't had an effect.
And let's play devil advocate. You know, you have no problem with them continually
Yes.
ongoing picturing Jesus as a white, blonde hair, blue eye,
And you know he
person,
ain't. And you know he
he ain't, and you don't have, you're not stopping it at all.
right.
So come on now, you're not helping
Yeah,
the cause.
yeah.
Then you know what I'm saying. And again, listen.
What it is change, though, and nobody likes change.
Well, and they feel the white people now starting to feel under attack.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
and listen, I got love for my white people.
Amen.
I'm keeping it 100. I love one of our close. He's not even a friend. He's family.
Absolutely. Buddha.
He's
Buddhist.
a white,
Buddhist.
blonde
Yes,
hair,
sir.
blue eye person. Okay,
Yes.
you won't get no more whiter than my
Well,
man
I think
Buddha.
the blonde is gone by now, but
Oh, now
but I
he's
get
gray
the-
hair. You're right.
gray now. He
I'm
went
giving
gray
him too
now.
much credit with the blonde. I'm giving him too much credit. Now he's gray hair, blue eye. He's gray hair, blue eye, and his family are all white. Okay, and I spoke to Eric, aka Blunt.
Blunt, yes. Half
And
white, half black.
And I said, how do you feel? He said he feels torn. He feels
big.
torn
About the statues.
about this whole thing that's going on.
Everything. The tension. Yeah, the tension.
because you
aspect.
gotta understand, Blunt is close to his black side of his family.
Yeah.
But he's also real close to his white side of his family. It's equal. It's equal love for Blunt. He can't love more than one other. He's
in the
Buddha.
middle.
Yeah, Buddha's his uncle. He loves his uncle. His
Yo,
aunts.
hold on, man. What's up with these boys? With these names, man? You got Buddhas, you got Blunt.
We smoked
Hey,
a
yo, shout
lot
out
of
to-
marijuana
Listen,
back
listen.
Shout out
You
to
talking
Blunt, shout out to
theology in the
Blues,
streets,
Buddha.
we in the streets. Okay, we're gonna give you the streets. Okay, so
Yo, big ups to them brothers.
yeah, but he said that he has equal. You know, he's
Yeah.
got on his father's side who is black. You know, family that he loves there too, but he don't love more than one than the other, and he hates the narrative of them hating each other because of color.
Yeah.
And you got to big up all the white people in the United States who are for taking out
course.
those statues.
Yes.
There's a whole
And
bunch
there's
of
good
them.
there
white.
is.
Let's
Listen,
not
we-
demonize the whole group now. There's a
No,
lot
no.
of white
we
people
was
that's like, no.
I just came from a stop the violence type of gathering.
Yeah.
White people were there.
Yeah.
Come on,
Represent.
man. Let's
Represent.
not
Yeah.
act like.
I don't think
know.
that this.
No, I'm just gonna give
I
a
don't
little
think
credit
that
there.
the progress, the small progress that's being made, because there's some stuff that's being done. I think
Yeah.
needed to be done. I don't think this conversation would have held on this long without the white
support.
influence and the white support that we're starting to see come out in droves, bro. They coming out.
Yeah,
They
there's
come
been a
deep.
shift.
They
There
coming
is
out.
a culture shift without a
They
doubt.
deep.
What's going
They
on?
deep.
Yeah. And this comes back though then to Black Lives Matter and their movement. Like I know you were going to touch on that, Jamma.
Good segue.
Yo,
Right. My thing
getting
is
good.
the BLM movement is extremely anti-Christian, right? The organization. Right? And I'm asking, are they using it as a tactic to further the taking away of Christianity out of our society, which has been happening for the past 50 years, taking Bibles out of schools, prayers out of school, just Christianity out of everything. Everything. I mean, they're taking Bibles out of like state organizations. The 10 Commandments was removed from a whole
They
bunch
want
of
to take
state
God out
capitals.
of the Pledge of
Yeah,
Allegiance.
it's becoming so universal and cosmic. The following of a God, right?
Yeah,
Because we want all inclusivity, right? We have this universal cosmic God who's all for all of us, and we're not allowed to be Christians and be like, yo, we love everybody, but this is what we believe right here. You know what I'm saying? And anything that doesn't say this, we can't rock with, right?
Exactly.
And I think
And so
there's a-
so when it comes to the defining aspect of Black Lives Matter, from a Christian standpoint, that we draw lines. Right?
Okay, if
from the
we're-
political standpoint,
political,
not
yeah.
the statement, right?
Not the statement. No,
we're
we
talking about
agree with the
political-
statement.
yes.
Yeah.
let me read to you one of the
Go ahead.
mission statements from the Black Lives Matter organization.
This is their website.
We affirm the lives of Black, queer, and trans folks, disabled folks, undocumented folks, folks with records, women, and all Black lives along the gender spectrum. Our network centers those who have been marginalized within Black liberation movements. Okay, now the main thing I see out of there is the exclusion of the word man.
Okay.
Okay, that's the main thing that I see. Big up to Chris Pratt, who brought that to my attention about a month ago, and it was
Shouts
like,
out Virginia
wow,
people.
wow. So in seeing that, it seems to me that Black is not the main topic there. The main topic is queer, trans folk, undocumented folk.
So what it said, the marginalized, and as far as what, but this is the thing, everybody has jumped on the shit,
Exactly.
culturally speaking, right? So when as this wave is riding, right, and some positive will come out of it from a civil standpoint, but from a Christian standpoint, you're saying there might be a slippery slope in which it may come against the church.
Well, it's
Yes.
already, if it's taking that stance, that is.
Well, without a doubt. And so that stance right there and what the church believes from a scriptural standpoint, it's already, there's disagreement there.
Conflict.
Yeah,
There's
it's
a conflict.
correct. Yeah.
Conflict.
Yeah.
So what if a Christian pastor says, you know what, despite their stance, I can still stand with them because of the core of what I believe is similar to what they believe.
Well, and let's emphasize on this. What if a Black pastor
Yeah.
says, I don't agree with Black Lives Matter's political movement because I don't see what being Black and being queer has to do with being Black?
Yeah.
Yes,
Do we know a Black?
I'm one of those pastors.
Yeah. I was gonna say, do we know a Black
Like that.
pastor?
Yes.
Ironically, we just know one.
We just happen to
It's
have one, right?
hardcore in the Black community.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kurt. Yeah.
Yo, that's something that really, man, irks my nerves. Is this whole notion, this whole narrative that's being pushed in our society that all of a sudden homosexuality and being gay is almost synonymous with being Black. Like every time the Black community cries out, here comes the homosexual community, here comes the LBGT
Transgender.
community, and tack on to the movement like, oh yeah. Whoa, wait a minute, hold up. That has nothing to do with being Black. Nothing.
To me, it's like being used almost. Right?
It is being used, bro. It's the same thing that the women's rights movement did to the civil rights movement.
Yes.
But I ain't going to let
Let's go,
So
baby.
no, but
All
see,
gloves
I think
off.
part of it though is that, so what you're saying, Jamma, and based on what you've read there from their
love you,
website,
ladies.
it's the inclusivity, right? And this is the thing: Christianity draws lines, and it is exclusive.
Extremely.
All religions are exclusive, plain and simple.
Yes.
But what you see
Yes.
there is a new age kind of mindset of everybody's inclusive and we want to respect everybody. And don't get me wrong, from Christianity, we should respect humans because they're made in the image of God. But when it comes to Christianity, Jesus draws the line, says, I am the way, the truth, and life. No one comes to the Father except through me. So right there, there's a but right there. There's we crashing heads right there in that based on their statement and based on what we believe. But how do you think it's going to trickle down? How do you think it will come against us?
This is conspiracy kind of. But
Yeah, this conspiracy. I know.
see patterns. I see that they're going to use this as a vehicle to take Jesus Christ out of everything due to its exclusiveness.
So then, because I'm trying to set this up. So then, is what Sean King saying part of that?
I think so. That's why I brought
Okay.
up the question.
Okay.
And I wanted to get your guys' opinion on that. Is it just me being paranoid as a Christian saying, yo, man, they trying to like take my religion out of everything. They trying to take my Bible out of everything, man. They trying to criminalize my belief system.
And I
You know what I'm
think
saying?
And I think it's the sign of the times.
We just got to be sober. We got to be vigilant.
Yeah. Although I am for, taking, I have no qualm with taking statues of white Jesus
course, yeah.
out of, or if you
But-
have a qualm with it, I don't like the white disciples on the pictures
But
of
like
the
what your
windows.
country friend said, at what point will they stop?
Right. And then
What's
now,
the end game?
Right, we're getting into communistic, socialistic end games, like what happened in China, what
Yeah.
happened in Russia, what happened in Cambodia, what happened in Nazi Germany. That's what they did. They burned a whole bunch of books. We not for this, we not for that. How far is it going to go? You know what I'm saying? And
So that's what your countryman, your country boy, homeboy was saying?
yeah, that's what he was saying. You know what
So
I'm
he's
saying?
saying, how far is
And-
this going to go?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I understand that, but I still don't. I still
just
didn't
saying, I'm
agree
just
with him.
saying,
I still didn't agree with him. Why just take the statues down.
But that was a good little point
Yeah.
you're saying that he said,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, because I think if you look at it from, once again, a spiritual perspective, we can clearly see, we can see where this is going.
Oh, we see. Oh, yeah.
We can see exactly where this is
Oh,
heading.
yeah, we see.
They coming for us.
And we listen, and we
This-
acting like this was we
No,
act,
bro,
you know,
this
we want
world system is coming
It
for
is.
the Christian.
Come on, how long we've
especially
been
the
saying
American Christian?
Yeah.
Because we have been afforded a privilege for so long, and now we've kind of got comfortable. We've gotten very comfortable that now, man, like if I was Satan. This is when I'm snatching away that comfort now. Now I'm gonna put you in opposition. Like, okay, now
Who's really built?
You either you want to continue into the comforts that you got in this country, or you gonna have to, if you stand for God, you have to face.
So let me throw this at you. One of the Black Lives Matter co-founder, Patrice Cullors, has stated of herself that she's a trained Marxist.
Yes, I saw that.
Okay, she's a trained Marxist. What do you think about that?
Well, that's prevalent in colleges today.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
part of college
Yes.
education. Marxism,
Yes.
socialism, and CRT, critical race theory,
Yes.
which is rooted in postmodernist ideology.
Yes.
And postmodernist ideology is the destruction, deconstruct everything. All truths that we have been taught, and they say that we've been taught these truths. They're social constructs. So let's deconstruct them and reconstruct our truths based on man's reason.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
so
and
this,
that goes everywhere.
And so then
Everywhere.
this comes back to then, is Black Lives Matter actually for the black man,
No.
the woman?
No.
You see what I'm saying?
After the information, and listen, Tats Nation, we're asking you this question, and we're not trying to we're giving you opinions, but we're asking you this question based on the narrative we just gave you guys.
Yeah. And Lou said it a couple weeks ago. He said his Black Lives Matter movement, they could become a political party.
Yes.
And that's the real movement.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To become a political party, to be adversaries versus the Republicans and Democrats.
And listen, and look at the title of with your statement is Black Lives Matter. Does all this other things that we just conveyed matter to black people?
It's a good question.
What matters to black people?
Yeah, no. With all this information we just gave, behind the scenes, the political realm of everything, does that matter to black people?
I think if they're Christians, absolutely. Pastor Kurt
Yeah.
being a perfect example of that. And I think, there's a lot of black people out there who are
But you said
Christians.
something earlier about what Black Lives Matter said about the nucleus of the family. What was it that you said?
Oh, they are not for the nuclear structure of the family.
So husband, wife, child, kind
Yes.
of like that whole mindset.
Yes.
So they're just saying whatever love
trying to
is.
deconstruct
Whatever
that.
family,
Yes.
whatever
Yeah.
family.
They're trying to
is-
deconstruct
So
that truth.
so let me ask you, Kurt. What do you think? Let me ask you this. What's the most important issue for Black America today?
Are you asking me from my opinion or from what?
Both.
Both.
Give us your opinion. Give us.
You know the facts. What you feel, man?
All right. Well, okay. Personally, the biggest issue, obviously, to me, is fatherhood.
Okay. Family. Right, that's part of it. Go ahead.
Absolutely.
family. Okay.
That's the biggest issue.
What?
is the family structure, fatherhood, is the biggest issue, and then after that, generational wealth.
Okay. So it's basically passing on down the generations and teaching them.
Teaching them how to establish generational
But
wealth.
family is the starting point.
Absolutely, because I don't think you
Can't
can
teach them.
establish generational wealth without establishing the Family Institute first.
Everything starts there.
Yeah.
You have to have a solid foundation to build upon in order to establish that generational wealth. And I think that's the reason why we keep seeing this cycle, man, where these dudes, not just guys, but our our community just continues to go through this cycle.
Family.
Where,
it's
like,
But what
man,
they're saying is family doesn't necessarily need to be man, woman, and child.
Right.
Family could be woman and woman and child.
Man and
family
man
could be
and
man
child.
and man and child.
Or just a woman and
just
child.
a woman and child
Yeah.
and just a man and child.
Yeah, yeah.
They're saying that you can't segregate it into being just man, woman, and child.
In other words, what is
traditional?
traditionally family
Right.
across all nations, across all eras of time. Traditionally, it has been a husband and a wife and a child.
And that's the
what is-
deconstruction, like Jamma said.
What is that family structure rooted in? Where do we get that from?
For the Bible.
Scripture.
Who?
Plain and
That's
simple.
scripture, right?
But they're trying to deconstruct, like
Right.
Jamma said, to rebuild.
And like Kurt said, family is so important. Family is the most basic building block of society.
Yes.
You mess with that little building block,
Well,
and
this-
society crumbles.
Well, let's just look at it simply, a simplicity. There's no reproduction if you break the family.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The life doesn't go on.
Right. You got adoption. You got
But then,
adoption.
even then, two people have to come together.
Right.
Even then. So you break up the family, somehow two people need to mate to procreate.
Yes.
That'd be a great.
Dropping bars.
Yo.
Two people need to mate to procreate. Bro, it just come out of me, bro.
Stop biting.
It just
I said
come out
that
of
a couple
me.
weeks ago, son.
Nah. It just come out of me, baby boy.
Yo.
Just like how that comes out of me. I'm sorry.
That would make a great movie, right? Like in the future, like all couples are like homosexuals.
Don't like each other.
Man, and woman, the majority of, and they just use straight people just to make babies so they could adopt.
Oh, and they
They'll
lock
keep us
them
in farms.
yeah,
It's a great
farms,
sci-fi
yeah.
flick.
Yeah, that is.
Wow. Holy moly.
It's a great one, yeah.
Yeah.
And they match them up. And
That'd be
you
a
have
pretty
to-
good job.
you
I would
have to
like that
mate,
job.
And you have to make.
My bad.
Oh, you like that job?
My bad.
Yeah, all right.
My bad.
We got
Yo,
something
once
for you.
again, don't let Tony hear this.
That'd be a great job.
It's a great job, just to procreate. And then two of them run off because they love each other. And they run off and
Oh,
they're
there you go.
looking
That goes a
for
good
them.
storyline right
Oh,
there.
yeah, you know I got to come
Yo,
with a storyline.
don't-
Oh, what in the
movie.
world?
Real good movie. Anybody steals it, you owe us. Listen, this is copywritten right here. We got the time, date, stamp right here. Listen, and we
can't
can help you
watch
though. Listen, call us and we'll give you more details on that script. Boom. Are we done or what? How much time are we looking at here? What we got?
we got a few more if you want.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow. I'm sorry for sidetracking that.
What you-
But I had a great idea. I had to voice it.
That was good though.
I had to voice it.
That's good.
But I want to say this, man. That I think that the church, man, because I got to put a lot of ownership back on the church. We got to do a better job at speaking out on these things and getting ahead of these things. Not just for society, but just for the church at large, the body of Christ itself. Because there's a day of reckoning coming. If you don't believe that, man, it's coming, and we're gonna have to hold. The Bible says that as we see this day approaching, the more we see the day approaching, fail not to come together, right?
Yeah.
We that's when we're supposed to come together, even more so, because there's gonna come a time where the only people that's got your back is going to be the ones who truly are lovers of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Black, white,
it's a day that
Hispanic,
come-
Mexican, it don't matter. They
It
love
don't
Christ.
matter.
They're going to be there.
So we got to get in front of these issues within the church, and we got to start talking about it. And I'm talking about from the pulpit.
How? I keep hearing this from all three of you who are pastors, right? Got Dawn, Pastor Lou, Pastor Neum, Pastor Kurt. The church is failing here. We need to do this. How? How do we do this? Just from the pulpit as via sermon?
No, see, I think what you that question is important because there's one thing you can preach about it, and I think there's churches that do preach about it, but there's another aspect where you have to be community oriented.
Yes.
Unless you
And
get
that's
into the
what I was-
community, unless you get into the face of people and make relationships, then you can actually influence people. Because the reality is, most people today are not coming to the church. They're just not. It is not the
So you
tendency
got
of
to go
humans.
out to them via
Even here,
rec centers. or
Even here,
something.
who's the prevalent here in Rochester, New York? Who is the prevalent pastor speaking on behalf of the body? But I'm talking that is sterile with scriptures, that's sticking to scriptures. See, you have the ones, and I'm not, as what I've seen, okay, just so what I've seen, I could be wrong, but the ones that kind of walk that fine line, you see them on the forefront
Yes.
in the political realm here.
Yes.
But I'm talking about the ones that pass the Kurtz, the ones that lose. Where are they? They're on the front of the political field. No. And that's what I mean. We got to get in the community. Even though they know we coming for trouble, we coming for that righteous.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That righteous anger that spewed up the tables in the house. You know what I mean? Of the Lord. But you know what he says, don't sin in your anger, right? But we come up with righteous anger. You know what I mean? Because listen, we're the mouthpiece, we're the ambassadors of the faith. We don't have that here.
How do we do that? Again,
like Lou just said, we got to be in a community more.
You got to step out.
We in the buildings.
Okay, let's go deeper. How do you get into the community?
By being out.
How do we be more effective?
By being out. That's that simple. Being at community events, being on the blocks, on the streets, tapping in with the resources that's already out there in the community.
And sadly, this is the thing. This is where
we're unseen.
No, this is where 60, 70 years ago, the church, the influence it had in the community, it was the primary influence. The government is now more the primary.
Yes.
And they have established, systems, whether they're good or bad, they have established systems to be community oriented or at least help the community, right?
Yep.
And how does now, can the church get into these? Some systems they may be able to. Some systems probably not. Yeah. And this is where I think on one level we have to do it maybe as sly serpents, right?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Coming in and just making relationships.
That's what it is.
And you ain't got to scream your Christianity.
Networking and making relationships.
Why can't we as a Christian community build our own systems?
That's what I'm saying. That's another.
This is where the issue comes in with that, Kurt. Though this is where the issue comes in with that, and it's not that it's not possible. Is that resources? Sadly, the resources. So, for example, let's say, because I think one of y'all brought up a rec center kind of idea, right? Mm-hmm. Bring that idea up, and guess what ends up happening within the Christian church at times? You got way too many heads.
Oh yeah, too many,
and
chiefs.
Not enough people making decisions.
I think the real issue is this. When I go by Hudson, it gets me angry. Right next door to each other are two huge churches.
That's my point.
Yeah.
You got too many dudes that want to be top dogs, bro.
Why? One can be a huge rec center, and one can be, but guess what? Like Lou's saying, the bumping of the head, the pride of life. Yeah. It's everybody wants to be, again, every neighborhood, ideally, should have one church.
Yeah.
And that's where more money could be allocated there, more money, more funds. So now there's more resources out of that church. But guess what? There's two of them right next door to each other, tapping into the same community. Yep. How can we have the money?
Competing for church
attendance. Of course. Yeah.
It makes no sense to me.
It doesn't.
And when I see it, then we wonder why we're not effective out here. People are walking by and saying, look at this one and look at they battling right in front of our face.
Yeah,
Come on now.
They mocking it.
They battling right in front of our face. You guys look dumb.
And what ends up happening is that we become so inwardly focused, walls per se. Let's just say Sunday service, Wednesday Bible study, whatever it is. Yep. That what we're doing is missing out on a generation of people.
Exactly.
I come from a Hispanic background, and I look at some of the older Spanish churches that have been around. There is a straight generation gap in between. Like I look at my grandmother, how she was in the church. We did not understand it. I love my grandmother. Thank God because of her. I believe that God used her to allow me to become a Christian. But we didn't know each other in the sense that who I was becoming as a young adult and who she was in the church, there was a straight generation gap there. Yeah. And that is true of many churches today.
And that's what's happening now.
The streets are one thing, and there's just a gap of people that have no clue who these people are. And even though they may be family members, maybe they be friends.
Exactly.
They still don't know who they are.
Listen, let me vent one more time. At the barbershop. You guys all of y'all been at the barbershop, right? There's 4 churches, okay? All one across the street from each other, right? At the corner. You got one church. You got a church right beside, and there's 5. There's one at the corner. There's one right behind it.
Yeah.
Literally right behind it. Then you got the one on the side of me, left side of me. Then you got the other big one across the street from that.
And you got a mosque over there too, right?
Yeah, and a mosque.
Yeah. Wow.
All on one corner. 5 different churches.
and none of them got together.
And they don't. None of them fellowship together.
Build a rec center.
They're all different
together.
denominations. They're all different. Everything. Everything.
Wow,
Everything's
it's a
different.
Detriment. It's a detriment.
And
to
bro,
us.
so who wants to be a part of that? Our people perish for the what? The lack of knowledge, right? And we gotta, bro. We
It's
gotta
but
do
by
better.
the grace of God, people are saved today, man.
But yes,
It is. It
Yes.
is the power of God
forgive
and
us, Lord.
salvation.
Yes,
Yeah,
man.
seriously.
Forgive us, Lord.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyways, we love y'all, Tats Nation. Share.
Nation,
Hey,
yes.
listen. Share this with everybody. You hear me?
Yeah, big shouts to
grinding
all
with
the
us.
listeners, man, everywhere.
Tats Nation, keep riding. Tats
Listen.
crew gonna keep driving.
Yeah, and big shouts out to all the police officers. We still love you too. We support also our police officers.
Absolutely. Do we defund or do we reform?
Good topic.
Yeah.
See ya.